Yo, this is Buck Fuddy, and it's this one's my story. Yikes, it's a lot in the way. What is that about? All right. How about this? Okay. Tonight's my story, and the question is, tell about your brothers and sisters, as well as your step-siblings, and your relationship with each of them when you were little. And start off by saying I have 3 sisters, and 2 of them have different mothers, but they're still my sisters. And I think that's a black thing. I think culturally that, you know, I don't call them, they're my sisters. Okay. And then first, when I was real little, my first one I spent time with was my oldest sister, Jacqueline, who when I was born, my father was married to her mom. You know what I mean? So I know I say that, but like, I think I say that sometimes because I think I was aware of how awkward it was. You know what I mean? And in the awkwardness, me and my sister were just brothers and sisters. She loved me to death. She used to say that I look like little Michael Jackson. I know it's crazy after what Michael did, but at the time when I was little, and little Michael Jackson from the Jackson 5, she thought that I looked just like him, and she would take me around to her friends and like, look at him, and I would perform like little Michael Jackson. I think that's where I got the performing from, and she kind of just took care of me, you know, when I was a little kid, you know what I mean, in Chester. So I need to spend a lot of time with her because, like I said, it's like an awkward situation. But in that, like, I don't remember the dynamics being like awkward in my presence, you know what I mean? But I could feel that, you know what I mean? Like, I go to her house is like different, you know what I mean? Like, and then because her mom and dad are, you know, and then when I was 4 years old, right after my mom and dad got married, my little sister came, and Samaya, and because we traveled around the United States, so it was just the 4 of us. So I've known her like all the time, you know what I mean? It was the 4 of us traveling all over, and small cars, and it was just like us in hotels and little tiny apartments and everywhere. We just all together, the 4 of us. So she's like my little sister. And then I just know that like when I was little, I had to like defend my sister. First, I always remember that when I was little, my dad sat me down and he was like, well, you're the man of the house when I'm not around, you know what I mean? And like, I don't want anyone like take care of your sister and your mother, you know what I mean? So that was my job, you know what I mean? When my dad wasn't around, I was the guy. So, and I used to get abused, so I had a chip on my shoulder. I had a little aggression. So I consider myself like the big dog. So like, my dad always worked, so he was never around. So it was my mom and my sister. And, you know, I usually, like, just do me wilding out all the time. But if they happen to call the big dog, you're going to have problems, you know what I mean? And, I had this guy earlier, I had this goofy earlier say that he didn't believe that I was gangster. He didn't believe it. And I thought it was ridiculous because it doesn't take anything to be a gangster, you know what I mean? They recruit kids off the streets, and there's gay gangs. There's, even in my neighborhood, there are people that are in my crew that were really non-violent dudes, you know what I mean? So I wasn't one of those guys. I was a very violent dude. I heard that too, like, I'm peaceful. You can't say you're peaceful unless you've caused major violence, you know what I mean? Like, unless you've done major violence, you can't say that you're peaceful. If you haven't caused major violence, you're harmless. You see what I'm saying? So like, I was doing major, and I don't have to, like, you know what I mean? Like, those who know, You know what I'm saying? But like, that's not what I'm about. I'm an adult, you know what I mean? But at the time, if my sister would use it to her benefit, like she would talk big stuff to people, because they would come up to me later and be like, well, your sister came to me and said if I did this, or you were going to come and beat me up. I would go to places and people would be scared, like, oh, your sister said that she was going to have you come beat me up. But that would happen all the time. That would happen all the time. And I would beat you up if you did something to my sister. If you did anything to any of my family, I would black out on you. I was just thinking the other day that we were in a club, and this dude, my sister came to me in the club, and she said this dude had slapped her, and like, you know what I mean? So I was like, where is he? So I just went straight to him. When I was getting straight to him, like, all my whole crew like rose up. We were just deep in there, right? So when I got to the dude, like, she's like, here he is. So then I was like, hey, did you slap my sister? And he was like, yeah. And at first I was shocked that he said that, but I was about to dig in him. And then all my homies just, we just champed the club like, that's on everything. And yeah, that was not even like, that's just how it goes. If I ever hear you say anything or disrespect about his family, I'm gonna come see you. Even though I'm a pacifist, that's one thing Daddy don't play. Okay, and then my third sister is Maisha, and funny thing is that I didn't even know she existed until I was like in my 30s. You know what I mean? She just came to Alaska, and I was like maybe in my 30s, and she was like, this is your sister. And you know what? Honestly, I'm gonna keep it 100. I've been saying this since day one. That first of all, my dad's like, we used to be a playboy. Like, it's weird because my dad had no problem being a playboy in front of me, but then I also had to like, you have to also keep the image up for the family too. But my dad used to take me to like ladies' house and leave me in the bed and shit while he go fuck with the ladies. But I was telling my sisters that I have another sister that I was hanging out with when I was a little kid named Booger, and I don't know what happened to her. And then he told me when it was like in my 40s, when we were like hanging out one day, he was like, you might have a brother. Like, you might have a brother. Some lady said that I got her pregnant, then she moved to Denver, Colorado. And I'm like, what? It's never like, this how you know what I mean? It's like, so like, I can't, even my sister Maisha, she wasn't there when I was a kid, so I don't have like stories about her when I was a kid. But the two, Jacqueline and my sister